All right, welcome to Sports Action, everybody. I'm Reggie Chapman alongside Jarvis Davis, John Michaels on a Sunday evening that feels like a massive day to talk about this Falcons team, man, because it feels like a massive moment, not only for this team, but this franchise, what the future could potentially look like. A loss to a Dolphins team that came with a single win. The offense and their defense struggled coming in. Their quarterback woke up with his eyes swollen shut, but in the end, Falcons lose 34-10 at home. Missing starters or not, John, it's not supposed to look this bad.
No, and I'm going to start right there. Don't give me you were missing starters. I don't care, because when Buffalo came in a couple of weeks ago on Monday Night Football, they were missing starters. And you know what? You take advantage of that when you're in the NFL. You have a quarterback that you're paying $35 million to be your backup. I don't want to see him air-mailing throws. Darnell Mooney, we paid a lot of money to him to be able to make catches. And the last I checked, the Dolphins came into this game with the worst run defense in the NFL, yet Bijan Robinson had 9 more carries than the three of us combined. Organizational malpractice, what I saw today.
You see that bottom lower third, worst loss of the season, Falcons. This includes a game where they lost 30-0 against the Panthers. I mean, Jarvis, we were both in the building. Both of us were in line for the ice cream in the press box. That was maybe the best part of being at the game, right?
1,000%, absolutely. But the worst part of this whole thing is the fact that Zach Robinson can't come up with an answer when they can't run the football. He has had real issues with figuring out a way to get this man involved in the offense when they aren't able to get blocks in and block those guys up front, because teams are doubling down, bringing down extra man in the box. You had the safeties making plays in the backfield today. It's stupefying to me that Zach Robinson can't figure out how to get Bijan Robinson involved when the people are loading up on the run, and I just don't understand it. Like, the game plan was absolutely awful. Kirk Cousins looked terrible.
Yep.
This is the worst game of this season, and it is by far. Like, I don't care what happened in that Carolina game.
Yep.
This game right here was absolutely awful.
The possessions were bad, too. They had 4 3-and-outs, a turnover on downs twice. They've lost a fumble. How much is it on the expensive backup quarterback that they had in there for Michael Penix Jr.? Kirk Cousins struggled today.
Yeah, I'm not going to blame him. You know what? He's in, and trust me, I want to bang on Kirk Cousins.
Would.
But he's in an unenviable position. You walk in, people are already talking about if he has a good game, we're going to have a quarterback controversy.
Yeah.
Whatever. It was always going to be Michael Penix's job. I put it squarely on the coaching staff. This is ill-prepared and not ready to play football. You've looked this way too many times. You had road struggles where you had only averaged 10 points a game on the road. But at home, you've been really good on the offensive side of the ball. The Dolphins, I'm a Miami guy if you didn't know, have wanted to fire Mike McDaniel and get rid of Tua Tagovailoa for about 2 years. Yet you probably extended their job at least another couple of weeks because they both came in and looked great. Again, it was from top to bottom. It was terrible.
Tua looked like he was back at Alabama, man. He was completing passes. He looked confident in the pocket. He was throwing the ball around, and they were running the ball well as well, that defense, which we'll talk about in a second. But we got to talk about, like you said, the Falcons' run game. I mean, they could not run the ball. Bijan Robinson really couldn't get anything going. Why has there been such a regression from what we had a couple of weeks ago where he was absolutely balling versus Buffalo?
I don't know what the regression is. I think part of it is you just don't feed him. You had this same problem in Carolina. You get behind, and all of a sudden you panic. 17-3, you can still run the football. Like, why do we have panic every time that we fall behind a team? It's like we don't have a rhyme or reason. And I see a lot of stuff from people that are smarter than me about football that say the Falcons have the most predictable offense. They run the same plays out of the same formations. Well, guess what? If people on social media can see it, I guarantee defensive coordinators that are making millions of dollars find out all of these tendencies.
The worst part about some of these losses, too, is that it feels like there's been a lot of, small stuff that's kind of just been on them that's been making it look even worse, right? They were 2 for 11 on third down, had 8 penalties, 3 of them extended drives for the Dolphins that lead to scores. Jarvis, where is the disconnect? Who is the issue? We're going to talk about Raheem in a second, but is he the biggest reason that this team doesn't seem to, handle the small things, do the small things correctly?
Yeah, when you think about just the overall of the stock market, they're almost like a stock price, right? It's just up and down, and they have good performances, they have back-to-back good performances, and get 2 wins, and then you come up, rip out 2 losses, and then you get into a space where you start losing games like this. 49ers game wasn't as bad, obviously, but when you think about how they are losing games against teams they're supposed to quote-unquote beat in the Carolina Panthers and the Miami Dolphins, they just make you look like you don't know what you're doing, and I think that falls back on the head coach. Like Raheem Morris, it has to fall on the sword for this one, because when you're talking about teams looking unprepared, offensive coordinators' game plan is out of whack.
Yep.
Defensive coordinators, the players, you moving a lot of moving pieces on the defense side of the football, and he's going to have to make an adjustment on what he's doing defensively. And when you have that question going into games, you have to question the head coach. That right now, my confidence in Raheem Morris to lead this team, it is low.
Yeah, actually, I'd love to get into that, actually. We got to talk about Raheem Morris, man, because it feels like the hot seat has gotten really hot. You can't have losses. It got bad after that Panthers loss. You rattle off a couple of wins and you're feeling pretty good. But this one at home, in front of your home crowd, in a way like this, where you're against the Dolphins team that, as you know, had not been very good this year, how hot is his seat? And do you think he might be out of here before the end of the year?
The Dolphins just benched Tua Tagovailoa last week because he threw 3 interceptions against Cleveland. I get Cleveland's got a good defense, but whatever. I don't think Arthur Blank has it in him to fire somebody right now. Should he? Probably. Look, there are times that a coach should get 3 or 4 or 5 years to get everything right. I know Dan Quinn did, and Arthur Smith got into his 3rd year. But there are times that you look and you just go, something's not clicking with this football team. The problem is, you'll turn around next week and go play really well against New England and win a game. Everybody will go, see, everything's fine. Everything's not fine. Clock mismanagement's been terrible for 2 years. Game plan, strategy, terrible. I've seen too many times where they've come out and lay eggs the way they have. It falls on the feet of Raheem Morris. And I'll throw in, he hired 2 coordinators that had no play calling experience. Jimmy Lake lasted 16, 17 games and was out of here.
His name is James.
James
You don't
Lake.
call him by that name.
That's James Lake now.
No, what do we call
James
him?
Lake.
Zachary Robinson? Can we give him the
Zachary.
government?
Yeah,
Zachary
Zachary
Robinson
and
might need
James.
to be gone as well. But that again falls back on the coach. You hired 2 guys that had never called plays because they were your buddies in Los Angeles. It's not working.
Yeah, man, it's really been tough to see. And like you said, it is a situation where it could be like the Dolphins, where they're trying to be moving out of there. They pull up a couple of wins, which could really change things. For more on this game, we're going to send things over to Maria Martin, who's at Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Thanks a lot, Reggie. Maria Martin here with the legend for the Falcons, John Abraham. And this game, not so legendary. So we're going to try to break it down as best as we can. A really rough loss to the Dolphins. This was previously a 1-win team, Miami that is. 34-10 was the loss. It was almost the worst loss in this building, but that last touchdown by Tyler Algier saved them from that bullet point. But what did you notice about this game? Because it felt like from the very beginning, there was just no signs of life for the Falcons.
It was the body language more for me. The body language of the whole team. It just seemed like they had no, sense of urgency.
Yeah.
It seemed like 2 of them really came in focused. Just watching how they moved the ball, watching how they were able to play defense better probably than anyone has played against Atlanta all year. It just didn't look focused at all. I didn't know what team came out this day. It was not the team we were expecting. I was thinking that, maybe Kurt would have a little flaws here and there, but it was a whole team thing.
Yeah, it's crazy because the Dolphins defense, the worst rushing defense in the entire NFL, and yet the Falcons could not run the ball at all on them today. Was there anything that you noticed defensively by the Dolphins that they were doing that was particularly tricky for the Falcons offense today?
Probably playing against Kirk Cousins. No, I honestly didn't though. I think the play calling was terrible. I think our play calling coming from the beginning of the game all the way to the end of the game was like, I think none of the players looked like they were ready to play. Nobody looked like they were ready to, do something to win a game today. Like, I'm trying to figure out, and I don't want to talk about the coaching, because when it comes to players, just because another player is not playing or just because it's the next man up, this is what you got to do. But I just didn't see the effort on either side of the ball that we usually see. It's just no energy at all. Yeah,
when you're talking about the players that did not play, obviously no Michael Penix Jr., so you start Kirk Cousins, you're down Drake London and out 3 defensive starters, and you said it, there's no excuses in the National Football League. You still have to play good football. How do they bounce back from something like this? This seems like the worst loss that they've had this year, and it was.
Hopefully they get the players back they need back, but it's got to be an attitude thing now, man. It's got to be like, look, I'm an NFL player. Like, I don't care what you're doing or how you feel about the person that's playing next to you. It comes to a point of pride now, and I think this is a pride situation. I think Raheem is definitely going to have to get his guys and say, what do y'all want to do the rest of this year? I mean, are we gonna just take every game and, one day you'll have Carolina team, and one day you'll have a Miami team. Or are we going to be a consistent team? Whether we win or lose, we still want to look good on film, and I don't think they look good on this film.
Yeah, especially because it doesn't get any easier from here for the Falcons. They go on the road to New England. Everyone knows the Patriots are playing very well. And then the next game is in Germany against the red-hot Indianapolis Colts. They got to fix it quick. So if you're a player, you talk about the body language, you talk about the energy and how you fix it in the locker room. But how do you fix it? You've been in those situations where your team is struggling and there's not many signs of life. So what are the conversations like and how do they fix it?
I would watch Caden Ellis. The only guy I seen that had the energy the whole game. The only guy I seen that seemed like he was ready to play. Only guy I seen that he cared. Like he was coming to teammates after every play, giving them handshakes. They need to find that energy again. They need to find it. I know they have young guys. Walker not playing, and even I thought Pierce was going to get a little more time, even though he started this game, but he didn't get in there. We need to find that energy. We need to come together. We don't need the coaches right now. We need each other. Like, look, bro, we're in the NFL. I want to be all pro this year. I want to do this. I want to do this. But we cannot come out here and stink it up like this. I don't care if you lose a game, but when you lose a game like this and just no energy is not good.
When you're frustrated in the locker room as a player, how many of those conversations are taking place between the guys in the locker room?
If you're a leader, they're definitely happening a lot. But if you're not a leader, it's not. And I see a lot of these guys, with Diablo being out, I don't know if they have that leadership right now. I don't know if they have the guy. And, we talked about it like, we haven't seen Bates like we want to see him. I love Jesse Bates, but we haven't seen him like that. Like, is he confused because he got so many young guys around him and it's not as comfortable as it was before?
Yeah.
Those are the guys that we're going to have to, come in and really have to talk to the guys, tell them this is what we got to do, y'all, this is what we got to do, and we got to see the actions on the field.
What's your biggest concern offensively with this team? We know that the wide receiver core has been a little bit of a hodgepodge so far, and then you don't have Drake London, obviously, for this game. Darnell Mooney has had his fair share of injuries. You lose Ray McLeod. This was the first game without him, a part of the Falcons organization. Moving forward, what does it look like? What's your biggest concern?
Consistency and belief. I think I don't know if the guys believe in the game plans. I don't know if the guys believe in they can secure the ball when they have it. Even like Bijan fumbled. Like Bijan never fumbles.
Right.
Like what's going on with the team? Like what is y'all mentality right now when y'all don't have Penix? What is y'all mentality right now when you don't have Drake London? Like what is your mentality as a team? Played a heck of a game in Buffalo. Okay, that game is over with. And I think a lot of false insecurities were covered up with a Band-Aid because they beat the Buffalo team compared to, we got to do this every week.
That's a good point. They haven't really looked like the same football team since they played Buffalo. Moving forward, what is the identity of these players? What does it need to be?
Well, I think personally, if I was in the locker room, I would literally talk to all the leaders personally. Like I would go to the captains and talk to them personally. I was like, look, in practice, I know they said we can't do this, we're going to do this anyway. I know they're telling us to ease up on this, we're not going to do that. We got to get this mentality going into the field. We got to have the guys that want to play. I don't know if it's going to be James Pierce, I don't know if it's Walker, but we need to get a solid starters in here. Because we got Floyd one day, then we got, Ayamada doing this. We got everybody just keep flip-flopping. We need to get some true starters on defense and let's just run this team.
They need to find their identity, and they need to find it quickly. John, thank you so much for your insight, especially as a player on a team that is struggling. The Falcons will need another bounce back, and that'll hopefully be next Sunday in New England.